Hey everybody, we are back with another episode of Can't Stop Snapping, the official podcast of MarvelSnapZone.com. Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. First, and as usual, I just want to thank you guys again for the great listening numbers that we've had and for you sticking around and always coming back each week and listening to the podcast. Listening has been up week over week, especially since the global release, so just appreciate all the support and the continued listening. Second, as always, I've said this before, we're always looking for new guest hosts on the show. If you're creating any kind of content for Marvel Snap and you'd like to be able to join the show and talk about a certain topic or join in one of the conversations that we already have planned, please reach out to me either on Twitter at can't_stop_snap, or you can find me on Discord. I'm in the official Marvel Snap Discord. I'm also in the Marvel Snap Zone Discord. My username is BlueSpruce17. So if you just send me a direct message there, we can coordinate something. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. And last but not least, just want to say that we're getting really close to 500 followers on Twitter. And I'd love to do a giveaway, and I'm kind of waiting for that milestone before we do some sort of giveaway. So if you haven't followed us on Twitter yet and you use Twitter, make sure to go there at can't_stop_snap. Follow us. Once we hit 500 followers, we're going to try to do some kind of giveaway. So look forward to hearing more about that. With all that being said, and without further ado, let's jump into today's episode. Hey everybody, we are back with another episode of Can't Stop Snapping, the official podcast of MarvelSnapZone.com. Today, as we talked about in the last episode, we are going to be talking about the new season pass. This is one we kind of assumed would be coming before it was leaked, just knowing that there was the new Black Panther movie releasing worldwide this week. So the season pass this month is Warriors of Wakanda. And I am joined today by a first-time guest host on the show, Marvel Snap Hero, and he's going to be here to talk with me about the new season pass. Marvel Snap Hero, thanks for being here.
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being willing to join.
Oh, thank you, Michael, for having me here as a guest. I started playing the game not long ago, and I fell in love with it, so I also can't stop snapping. It's crazy.
Yeah, we've all caught the bug. We can't stop. Well, first things first, I just want to give you a second. Could you just give us a little bit of background? Where did you first learn about Marvel Snap? Did you learn about it before it released globally? Did you learn about it after? Have you played other card games before? And, what made you decide you wanted to create content for Marvel Snap?
So if I remember correctly, the first time that I ever heard about Marvel Snap was from another content creator that I used to follow for another game called Gwent, another card game. If I remember correctly, I think it was Spessy. Spessy, during one of these videos, said that he was trying Marvel Snap and he was crazy about it. And then he announced that he was stopping with Gwent and going to Marvel Snap. So I knew about the existence of the game, but I didn't have early access. I didn't have access to the beta version, so I had to wait, as most of the people out there, to get the game with the global release. And yes, I fell in love with it. It's so good.
Awesome. And, what made you decide that you wanted to create content around the game?
Oh, yes. Sorry about that. I didn't answer your full question. So I've been a gamer for all my life, and I'm talking about 1982, the year that I was born. So I've been quite a long time out there playing video games and card games also. I always liked card games. I remember playing Magic, like the traditional version of Magic, the physical cards and everything. And I remember a card game, a Marvel card game that I don't remember the name of it, but long time ago. I mean, I was like 14 years old maybe, and I'm 40. So there was a card game long time ago, a Marvel one that I can't remember the name. But anyway, it was not video games; it was card games. But with video games, my story goes long way back. I remember myself playing Odyssey or Atari, like very old video games, and I didn't stop playing ever. So what made me decide to start creating content for Marvel was kind of a shot in the dark. I just a week before the game was released, I quit my job. It's crazy, Michael. I have a degree in international affairs, never worked in the area. I am a trained masseuse. I am a massage therapist, a holistic therapist. I went to India to learn massages and everything. But I always had this passion about video games. And 3 weeks ago, when the game was released, I had quit my job in a bar. I was working as a bartender. So I saw myself with loads of free time. And I still have loads of free time. I'm still looking for another job, guys. If you know about anything, I'm here in Ireland, Dublin. Shout out to anybody that has a job for me. And I had too much free time on my hands, so I didn't know what to do. And I started playing Marvel Snap, and I fell in love with it. Couldn't stop snapping, and I decided I was like, I always wanted to do this. To be honest, I thought about starting creating content a long time ago because I've been playing League of Legends for a long time, and I'm a main Leona player, a support player with 4 million mastery points on her. So I always thought about starting creating content for video games, but I never had the means to do it because I didn't have a decent laptop. I didn't have the means. I didn't have how to start doing something about it. And I even remember one of my past girlfriends, long-term girlfriend, telling me that I should do something about my passion. She knew she would see me playing video games nonstop, and she would say, Leo, you need to go and work with this, do something about it. You love playing video games, so why don't you work in the industry? And I tried, but without success. So now the game is released. I am off, no work, lots of free time in my hands, and I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. And I started uploading videos. But guys, taking the opportunity here, I would like to apologize for the quality of my first videos. I had no camera. My sound was in loop. It was crazy. But anyway, I kept going. And I will keep doing it. As I'm telling you guys, I do know that I need to get a regular job to to pay my bills. But with all the free time that I have, I will continue to do this because I have so much fun doing this. It's so much fun doing the videos, the thumbnails, and thinking about content to put up there. I don't know, I just have a great time in front of the screen doing these kind of things, being creative, creating stuff. I really like creating stuff. So I found it a really pleasant activity to do.
Well, awesome.
If I'm going to keep doing this, Michael, I don't know. Yes, I talk too much, Michael. Sorry, go on.
No. You're totally good. Don't mean to cut you off. No, I appreciate it. I mean, we've had lots of creators on here with varying degrees of like experience in content creation and playing games, etc. And I just like to get a perspective on where people are coming from and creating content. So really appreciate that introduction and letting listeners get to know you a little bit. So diving into our first topic, obviously the centerpiece of this season pass is the new card, as it is every month with the season pass, and that is Black Panther. So for those who may not know, or assuming most listeners do know, Black Panther is a 5-cost, 4-power card with the ability that reads, on reveal, double this card's power. So without any other boosts or locations or other cards interacting with Black Panther, you play him down, his ability triggers, and he will double to 8 power. I would love to just get your quick initial thoughts. What's your take on Black Panther? Is it a good card? What have you seen so far?
On a first look, it's amazing, isn't it? There's no ceiling for these cards. I've seen videos already the first 2 days with the card outs of Black Panthers with 1 million power or 100,000 power, or what is this? Like, we are breaking the game. Black Panther is breaking the game.
Yep.
So yes, looks like a very good card, very strong card. And yes, amazing. I mean, I don't know. Of course, I don't have enough knowledge of the game to think about all the combos that we can do using Black Panther. But what I can do in these 3 weeks playing the game, I came up with some ideas on how to counter Black Panther. That's at least what I tried to do in the last 2 days because people are abusing Black Panther.
Yeah, that is the interesting thing, and that's always what seems to happen with when a new card comes out, right? A lot of people are going to be playing it heavily the first few days after it releases, right?
Yeah.
As well as there's featured locations, right? Now, we'll talk about the locations a little bit later on, but there's locations that obviously have synergy with Black Panther and work well with Black Panther. And so you have people that are playing a lot of Black Panther, and then it seems like the other half of people are all playing counters to Black Panther, whether that's Cosmo, so the unrevealability doesn't happen. Whether that's Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi to destroy Black Panther on the last turn, right?
Shang-Chi is a rising star with this Shurima's lab, right?
Yeah.
All the cards getting really big. I've been winning games with Shang-Chi. Crazy, like he's wiping allocation out completely.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, we've talked about that kind of the psychology of snapping and the thought process there a lot on the podcast. And I mean, we see that kind of hyper focused in the last 2 days with the new season pass because, everybody's either playing, this big Black Panther decks, or they're playing counter stuff to Black Panther. Obviously not everyone, but most people. And so, this is just my friendly advice. If you're playing Black Panther and you have him, really big, or, you're going to play him and your opponent snaps the turn before, it probably means they're going to play down Cosmo or Shang-Chi or something that's not going to allow you to do it.
Yes, and another card that counters Black Panther really well that I was trying in a deck that I called Disruption Control is Aero. Aero plays in turn 5 also, and then you can control where the opponent is playing Black Panther, so you can move Black Panther out of the Wong line if you don't have Cosmo.
Yes, that is another great
I've been using Aero a lot also.
Yeah, well, it's happened to me. I'm not saying I'm immune to this. I'm building up my Black Panther. I play it on Wong, so its ability, Wong will double the on-revealability, so then it goes from 4 to 16 power, and then that I have Arnim Zola in my hand, so I'm going to split Black Panther into 2 locations, and he's going to double again, right? I mean, I've done this a lot in the last couple of days just because it's fun, but somebody snaps right before turn 6, and there's that part of my brain that tells me, okay, I know they have initiative, and I know they have Shang-Chi probably in their hand, but I just want to see. Yeah. I just want to see, and maybe I'll win. But
do that, right?
Yeah, and inevitably, whenever I follow that intuition to stay in the game, I always lose. So, it is best in those types of situations to, don't be curious, don't try to stay in to see what happens. Just retreat and go to the next match.
I've been saying this to people in my videos. I've been saying, guys, honestly, if it looks bad for you, just retreat. There is no shame in retreating. You just saving cubes. You're losing less cubes than you would if you stay it. So if it's not looking good for you, everything's going wrong in the game, just retreat, and that's it.
Yeah. So
we're curious. We human beings. We need to pay to see until the end. We go. There's still a chance I can win this.
Yeah, the drama, and I was gonna say exactly what you say. We're curious beings. We want to know, but what if?
Yes.
And that can be your downfall in Marvel Snap, right?
Exactly.
And we've definitely seen that in the kind of mini meta the last couple of days with the featured location and with Black Panther. I think we've seen a lot of that curiosity. Either you're on the losing end of that curiosity, or you're taking advantage of people's curiosity to rank up and to get more cubes. So,
yes. And about the new locations today, I got surprised because I don't remember the name of the location, the one that the cards fight each other each turn.
Yes, Warrior Falls.
Yes. So the opponent didn't have any cards there, and I played a second card on this location. My cards fought each other. I was like, "What's going on? What's happened? What just happened?"
Yeah, no, I was a little surprised by that too. Let's jump to the locations with this season. So the first location I want to focus on really quick is Shuri's Lab, which obviously has been the featured location this week, and it's the effect reads, when you play a card here, double its power. So this has obviously had a great synergy with Black Panther, things like Brood, well, I'd say less so with Brood. I thought so, but it doesn't actually carry the power over to the Broodlings when the Broodlings spawn from Brood with its ability. But it's been good with just high power cards and being able to fill up the location here with a lot of power. But one thing I was surprised, I didn't realize that they had also already added Warrior Falls to the game, exactly like you. So I feel like normally it's been they kind of add them 1 week at a time over the season pass. But all of a sudden I was playing today, and then Warriors Falls popped up in a match, and I said, "What is this location? I didn't know there was 2 new locations this week."
You're not expecting the new location dropping yet?
Yeah, and so Warrior Falls reads, after each turn, cards here fight, destroy the weakest ones. So there are some locations in the game where it says, okay, whoever has most power, the other side of the board, those cards are destroyed like on turn 4, stuff like that. But this one is every single turn that happens.
Every single turn, and in between your cards also. It's not that your cards are fighting the opponent cards. Is that everybody's fighting that lady? Is a bar that everybody's drunk and nobody knows who to hit. Everybody's hitting each other. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that is really interesting because it says after each turn, cards here fight. It doesn't say like you against your opponent, right? And destroy the weakest ones, plural, like weakest cards on board.
Yeah,
and that's funny.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I didn't realize that because what happened when I got it is I had powered up my Brood. For those who don't know, Brood is normally a 3-cost, 2-power card. I powered it up with I'm forgetting the name of the card. It's a 2-cost, 1-power card, Forge, that adds 2 power to the next card you play. So I played Forge. Yeah. I played Brood there. And so then my Broodlings, so Brood went to 4 power, and then it spawns 2 Broodlings with the same power. So then I had 12 power there, right? But each of my cards had the same amount of power, so they didn't kill each other.
Didn't kill each other, exactly.
So I didn't even make that connection until you brought that up, because I just killed my opponent's cards across the board. But that's such a unique ability that you can fight and lose your own cards that are there.
Yes, I didn't know that the way it worked. And then the first game that this location showed up, I lost because I played 2 cards there and they fought each other and they killed each other. I mean, just one of them died. But anyway, I was like, what's going on? But it's crazy. Sometimes for a new player like me, I still have lots of doubts concerning the mechanics of some of the stuff. Of course, I've been learning for all this time that I've been playing the game, all this time, this month that I've been playing the game, 3 weeks playing the game. I've been learning a lot, but I still have lots of things that I need to understand how the mechanic works. Sometimes I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I think something that all the new players are going through, something normal. We're going to have more time to adapt, to learn, to practice. But yes, some of the new locations are very interesting. Like we have the Shrima Lab, we have this one that we are talking about now, the cards fights, and we have any other one for the season, or is just these 2?
There's 2 more coming out in the season that we know about, just because people have looked at the code in the game, but I don't think they're in rotation yet. So I can cover those really quick. So first is Vibranium Mines. When you play a card here, shuffle 3 Vibranium into your deck. So it shuffles 3 cards that are called Vibranium into your deck. And Vibranium, I had to look this up because I was like, well, okay, what is a Vibranium card?
What? Is that a new card? What is this?
Yeah, so a Vibranium card is a 1-cost, 4-power card, no ability. So you just get 3 of those. So this is much more friendly than rocks being, shuffled into your deck. You get
Please don't tell me about the rocks,
yeah.
please.
So this one's interesting. So I'm assuming we'll see this one in the coming weeks as one of the featured locations during this month. And
Yeah.
then the last one that we know about coming this month is Throne Room. So it's like the throne room in Wakanda. And it says cards here with the highest power have their power doubled. So this is
Right.
yeah. So but that is not a permanent. It doesn't permanently double their power, right? It's just as long as they're at that location. So if they
Yeah, it's like the location that we have right now that I don't know the name. I'm sorry, guys, that I don't know by heart most of the name of the locations. But there is a location that also reads the highest card here gets +3, right?
yeah, that's monster something monster Metropolis. I had to look it
Yeah.
up. Don't think I had that memorized. I looked that up right as you were talking. Yeah, no, it's similar to that idea of Monster Metropolis where you get a buff, but it's only as long as you're at the location and as long as you have the highest power. So if your opponent plays a stronger card there, then you will no longer get that double power buff. So obviously it's synergizing with these Wakandan cards, right? That add extra power, Black Panther, Okoye, Nakia, right? Playing into that same theme.
Yeah, and again, Shang-Chi is gonna be a rising star for these locations. Like tall cards,
Yeah.
he can wipe them out, all of them.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is like, you can like, if your opponent has that one card there that's the highest, that one's going to be doubled. But if you Shang-Chi there, it not only kills that card, but then you may have the highest power card there then, which would then flip and you'd get the double power on one of your cards, right?
Exactly, it's a very big swing.
Yeah, very big swing that could happen at the very end of the game. So,
Yeah.
We can definitely theorize that, but I'm excited to see these locations in practice. But yeah, what are your overall thoughts? Do you like these 4 new locations? Any of them that stand out to you between the 4?
Oh, the one that the cards fight each other, it's crazy. I mean, really hard to play in this location. What I've been doing in the last, like today, playing the game when it showed up for me, I've been leaving the location by itself until the end, like the tall cards, because playing cards there early is just too dangerous. You never know what's gonna happen. I mean, so it's a location that I don't know. My approach to play with this location is leave it be and play late on the location when you have the big guys on your hands. Otherwise, it's too risky.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
And for Shurima's lab, I'm trying to avoid these locations. I'm not going for them, or at least I'm trying to bait the opponent to go for them. Like I at least like play one card in Shurima's lab, for example, so the opponent also starts spending resources there, maybe to dispute to have the competition with me for that location, and then I just leave the opponent piling his tall cards there, and last turn comes my little friend Shang-Chi with his big kick killing everybody. So that's my approach to play these locations. I'm using them as bait, honestly.
Yeah. No, I think I think that's one of the best ways to play with featured locations. Again, there's kind of 2 ways to play with a featured location. You either try to play into its strength, or you try to take advantage of other people playing into its strength, right? And
exactly, yeah.
Sometimes I think it might be more reliable to do the latter, which is play into other people focusing on that location, because then you can have those big swings at the end of the game and hopefully take advantage of people trying out the location and trying to use it to their advantage.
Yeah, it's so satisfying when on turn 6 you swing the power of a lane entirely on your favor with Shang-Chi. It's crazy. Like the guy is so sure he's winning, and then he snaps, and you're like, okay, you snapped.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And then he comes. It's amazing, and it's crazy about this game is also sometimes you think you have the upper hand on the opponent. Like you think, oh, this guy thinks that he's gonna win, and I'm gonna win so bad. It's gonna be so fun, and then you lose because sometimes you outplay yourself in this game. It's crazy. Sometimes you at least me, I do this all the time. I think, okay, if I was the opponent, I would play here because that and that and that, and then the guy does exactly the opposite that I was thinking. I was like, oh my god, seriously. So it's very easy to outplay yourself playing Marvel Snap. Sometimes the easiest way, like the most silly thing, is the one that would win you the game. Sometimes playing easy wins you the game, and thinking more complicated and trying to think like the opponents and try to put yourself in the place of the opponents. What would I do? Blah blah blah, and then you lose. Sometimes it's just on your face the easiest play that you could do. You would win the game, and you don't do that. You think too much. You think too hard, and then you end up losing the game for yourself. Like outplaying yourself is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most interesting things about Marvel Snap is that kind of dichotomy that you just described of sometimes it's so simple, but sometimes it's so complicated, and sometimes we do the opposite of what we should do, right?
Yes, exactly.
Very interesting.
What I recommend to new players, and I've been doing myself, every single game, even if I win, and especially if I lose, I stop on the screen, the last screen before collecting the rewards. I stop on that screen at the end of the game, and I see what could I have done differently. Where did I lose this game? And then I usually go and I find the moment, the turn, the card that I had should I play in another place. You know what I mean? Like you always find where you misstepped, because this game is so good that one misstep it costs you the game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you have to be focused 100%. You can't put in autopilot to play this game. You can't just play for play. If you play just playing, you're gonna lose many cubes. Let me tell you. You need to focus and be 100% focused on the game, paying attention on every single detail, because any missteps cost you the game. And it's so good for this. So unique, so different. Every single game is different. The locations. And it's crazy that they managed to do this with only a 12 card deck. You know what I mean? The deck is so small, but at the same time, we have so much variety of gameplay and styles, and it's great, guys. I don't know how did they manage, but it's one of for me. I maybe it's too much to say, but it's the best card game ever that I ever played.
Hey, I think there are many people that agree with your opinion. Obviously, there may be people that don't, but I myself, I feel similarly from my play experience. I played several card games, and this is the one I've enjoyed the most by far. Hey all, I wanted to take a quick moment to talk to you about MarvelSnapZone.com. Marvel Snap Zone is a one-stop shop for everything Marvel Snap on the internet. They have new articles nearly every day that cover deck building, strategy, card breakdowns, etc. They have a great collection tracker tool and a deck list builder that works off of that collection tracker so that you can know what decks you can build with your current card collection. They have guides and deck lists for all level of players and all collection level of players. Make sure to go to MarvelSnapZone.com and check it out now.
Yes, it's fast-paced, dynamic, fun. The visuals are amazing. The sound, I mean, the whole thing is just great. It's just great. I just hope that they keep rocking. They keep the game as good as it is. And for now, I'm really happy with most of the aspect of the game. I mean, everything. I don't have any complaining so far.
Awesome. Well, I want to change gears a little bit here. I'd love to just get your take, just your quick kind of initial thumbs up, thumbs down. We won't even rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Just thumbs up, thumbs down. How do you like the exclusive variants that you can get this season? So we've got a variant for Black Panther, a variant for Okoye, and a variant for Nakia. For each one, is it a thumbs up for you or a thumbs down?
Let's do it. So The Panther, the Black Panther one, beautiful, really good. I like the variant.
Yeah, it's called the Ancestor variant. It's got like Black Panther's ancestor, in the frame with him. I think it's really cool.
Yes. Okoye one, I loved it. It's so beautiful. The image, the drawing. I loved it. I loved the Okoye variant. On the other side, Nakia, I I don't like a lot that art style. I'm sorry. I know that it's a big guy, famous guy. Lots of people love his type of art, but it's not my style. I really thumbs down for me for the Nakia variant.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fair. So this is the Nakia variant this season is from Dan Hip, and Dan Hip has actually done a lot of variants that have both been released and some that haven't been released yet for a lot of cards. And I think, you're kind of, you sharing your opinion and not being your favorite. I think one of the great things about Marvel Snap is that there's so many different art styles, right? From the more really kind of cartoonish to the pixel art to the more realistic drawn, there's so many different variants and types of art styles that you can really kind of get the style of art that you like the most, which I really appreciate.
That's right. Yes, me too. And I mean, there's again no ceiling for this. I mean, they can keep releasing different variants for all the existing cards already, and we're gonna have variety of cards, amazing variety of cards, which is also very good, as you said. Like, give people choice to go after the variant that they like the most, the style that they like the most. I remember that I played a guy today, was it, or yesterday? Most of the guy cards were pixel variants.
Yeah,
It was so fun to play against the guy. Like everything was pixeled. I was like, so it was nice.
I'm personally up to 9 pixel variants, and the funny thing is I haven't bought any of them from the store. It's just I've opened a lot of them over time, from the random variants, and so I'm like, if I get 3 more cards, even if it's not a really good deck, I'm gonna play all of them together and do a pixel only deck. So
for how long have you been playing, Michael?
I have been playing since about the first week of the beta, first or second week of the beta.
All right. Okay. So you do have the 5 months ahead of me.
Yes, yes. I actually, there's lots of people that have been playing the same amount of time I have that have unlocked all cards in the game. I still have a couple left to go. I think that
is okay.
Yeah, there's just been a couple periods of time where I've had to slow down my play, etc. But one thing I did want to ask you really quick is, what has been your favorite favorite variant that you have unlocked thus far?
Oh, let me see. Oh, I close the game here to Terry, but I left one. What's his name? Is Thanos Lieutenant. What's his name? Mo. Oh, I forgot his name, the name of the card, but it's so beautiful, the art.
What's the cost and the power of the card?
Wait. It's oh my God, doesn't come to me the name of the guy. He's the one cost 7 power.
Oh,
can only play
Ebony
Maw.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a variant of this card. It's beautiful. It's like a variant. I don't know. The style is more like realistic, more like painting. Like if it was like an Alex Ross painting, something like that.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice. I posted the other day. I think I posted in Can't Stop Snapping. I tweeted there. I tweeted my preferred variant so far. But I've got others that I like a lot. But this one is really, really beautiful. The Ebony Maw one that I have.
And I believe I have the exact same Ebony Maw one that you're talking about.
So you know the one that I'm talking about. I think you can see on the side like loads of guns, like like there are loads of people pointing guns to him or something like that.
Yep.
I really like that variant.
I have the same one. It's out of all the ones that are available for Ebony Maw, I think it's the coolest one. Made me.
No, I haven't seen many variants.
Yeah. Well, cool. Turning our thoughts quickly here from variants. just want to get kind of to close this out. Obviously, you've been playing just a few weeks now since the global release of the game. This is your second season. You had the Miles Morales season. Now we have the Black Panther season. And I believe, did you make it to Infinite Rank last season, or did you just fall short?
Oh, I fell short, guys. I went all the way to 98.
Oof.
And I think you saw me playing, didn't you, Michael?
Yes.
I did a live in the last hours of the season trying to grind all the way to 100, but I fell short, like for 15 cubes maybe.
Yeah. So, I mean, but obviously that's a great accomplishment just in 2 weeks playing, right? Essentially 2 weeks playing, you were able to get all the way to 98, and now you can start at a higher level this season, obviously, start at 60. But, you've already alluded to several of your thoughts about Marvel Snap and how you feel about it. But I would love to just get maybe another minute or two. Just tell us, what have been your impressions thus far at the game? What would you love to see next, right? They've released a roadmap in the past, but like what features, if you got to pick what features were coming next to the game, what would you pick? What would you add to the game in the next couple of months?
They're doing a great job. I've been loving the game since day one, since I started playing the game. As I told you, I can't stop snapping. I used to share my time in between different games, and since Marvel Snap came out, I'm playing only Marvel Snap. The other games are missing me a lot. They're like, "Where are you, Leo? You left us here all by ourselves." I just left the other games, and I'm just focusing on snapping. My impression so far, as I told you guys before, the game is amazing. It's fast-paced, it's dynamic, it's different in all the good ways that we can expect a card game to be, or a game, in any game in general, to be. So I think they were very creative doing this game because we have loads of card games out there, and this doesn't look like any of the other games, at least for me. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there are other card games out there similar to Marvel Snap, but at least from my experience, the ones that I've played, Marvel Snap is really unique in its mechanics and the way that it's played, the 3 lanes, and it's crazy because it's a card game, but it remembers me, and you can say, Leo, you are completely insane, you're a madman, but it remembers me of tic-tac-toe. You know the one?
Yep.
The one that we play when you are kids, that we just draw on a empty paper, on a paper, I don't know how to, it's tic-tac-toe, right? The name in English for this game?
Yes. Yep.
Remembers me of tic-tac-toe because of the position of the things, You need to think ahead where you're going to position, the maths that you need to do. And also, it resembles a little bit poker, right? Because of the snap mechanic. It's like you can bluff. Sometimes you know that you're going to lose, but you go and you bluff, and you go and you snap, and then the opponent maybe quit, give up on the game because, oh man, the guy's snapped, he's going to win. So it's a card game that mix all of these elements of all the different types of games, and it's amazing. I've been enjoying a lot. And what's nice for me, it seems to me at least, that there are no broken things, no broken decks, no broken cards, everything's, at least seems to me, very, very balanced. In such a way that any deck can beat any other deck. There's no such thing as, I don't lose playing this deck, because any other card game, sometimes they come up with a broken thing, a broken mechanic, and they need to patch, to fix it, to nerf, to buff, whatever. But I don't see this happening in Marvel Snap, at least at this beginning. Maybe it happened already in these 5 months that I didn't play the game. You can tell me happen at some point. Some kind of.
I'll just say there were some rough patches, but they definitely did a good job of smoothing them over and balancing it out, getting it ready for global release, right? I mean, that's what a beta's for, right?
Exactly. Feels very balanced to me. Feels like you can win or lose playing any deck. And it's amazing. It's amazing for all its phases. I mean, the game itself, the part of the collectible for people that, because I'm sure that, of course, us we crazy, we gamers, we can't stop snapping. But there are gonna be people there. They're gonna have the game and they're gonna maybe spend money in the game only to have the cards, only to be able to have a look on the cards and like to collect the cards. So all the aspects of the game were well thought, and I think the guys hit the lottery with this game. And I'm happy because I'm playing it, so I'm enjoying it. I'm taking advantage of their success because I'm loving the game also. And thank you guys for doing this game. And I just hope that they keep the game the way it is. Right now it's very free to play friendly. We know already that spending money to grow your collection power is only only speeding up your things. We're not like people spending lots of money in the game are not getting any advantage extra, as it happens in other games where people, the ones that are spending lots of money, get bigger advantages than the ones that are not spending any money. That's not the case for Marvel's Snap, at least as far as I can perceive it. I mean, the people spending money in the game, the only advantage that they are getting is the speed which they are going to complete their collection. Other than that, there's no advantage in spending money in the game. And people that won't spend money in the game won't get too behind also, because I heard somewhere or somebody explaining that they are going to probably release, I don't know, I'm just saying a number out there, I'm not sure if this is the correct number, but they're going to release, I don't know, 4 new cards a month, and players that are not spending any money on the game are getting more than 4 cards a month. So they are not going to stay too behind other players, people that are spending money or whatever, Yeah. So I like this also about the game, that is free to play, friendly, and people that are spending money in the game, they are not getting any advantages concerning the gameplay, or they are just speeding up their collection and in variants or whatever. It's just cosmetic. It's nothing mechanical, nothing that affects our gameplay, or so. That's amazing. And I please, guys, I hope that you guys keep the game this way. Don't convert the game to a play-to-win game, please.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate, over the last several months as we've had the podcast, we've had a lot of people on that have been playing throughout the whole beta, right? And so at this point, a lot of them have, 5 months of playtime under their belt. So I really appreciate you kind of bringing your newer perspective, right? More recent perspective on playing the game and kind of a fresh pair of eyes. So really appreciate that. Before we go, as always, I want to give you a chance. Just give us a quick shout out of where people can find you on Twitter, where you're creating content. Just let listeners know the best way they can find you and support the content you're creating.
All right, Michael, first of all, I would like to thank you again for inviting me, to give me this space to introduce myself to the community. And as you guys realize already, I talk a lot. So one of my nicknames during my teenager times were Big Mouth. That was one of my nicknames. And the other one was Hero, Leo Hero. My name is Leonardo. In Brazil, is a nickname for Leonardo is Leo. You guys in English, you pronounce Leo. So here in Ireland, for example, people call me Leo all the time. Leo. I decided to call myself Marvel Snap Hero because of this nickname that I had as a teenager. You can call me Snap Hero only. Marvel Snap Hero maybe it's too big. Maybe I should cut Marvel out of my name to avoid having any problems in the future with the company. But anyway, you guys can call me Snap Hero or Leo or whatever you want to call me. You can find me on YouTube. I have a channel on YouTube. 3 weeks ago, I started the channel. As I told you guys, the first videos are funny because no camera, the sound sucks. And me, myself, I'm improving, guys. This is a new thing for me. I have no training in this. I've never, never studied arts or, how to play a part or anything, or to be in front of a camera, or anyway, I'm just being myself, trying to be spontaneous, talking to you guys, having a great time, and doing something that I like. So you guys can find me on YouTube. Michael is gonna leave the link afterwards somewhere that you can find easily on the description of the video or somewhere. But if I'm not wrong, is YouTube bar at Snap Hero, everything together. That's the short thing to find me on YouTube. And then I also have a Twitter account, and you guys can find me on Twitch TV. I'm starting to stream every day, at least a couple of hours. And I've been changing the time that I'm streaming because I've been trying to avoid other streamers, other content creators that are streaming at the same time Marvel Snap. So I'm trying still to set a fixed time for me, not in the same time as the other people are with their lives. And you guys can check me on YouTube, check my page on Twitch. Soon enough, I'm gonna have my time fixed there, so you guys can tune in the same time every day. I'm gonna be there playing the game. And I think that's it, Michael. I still don't have an Instagram accounts for my alliance, for my Marvel Snap Hero, and I still don't have a Facebook account neither. I need to do that. But that's it, guys. I just started doing this. I've been enjoying a lot. I'm very thankful. I'll be forever grateful to Michael for inviting me to this podcast. Hopefully, you guys like what you listen and you go and check my content on YouTube.
Awesome.
I'm new to this. I'm gonna just improve from now on, I'm sure. And that's it, guys. Thank you for your support, and